Hey guys, so I said I wasn't going to make another video. I just got back from the grocery store and a lot of people are out, so I thought I'd make another video giving an update on what's going on in Mexico. So in front of me I have some articles that I'm going to be looking at while I talk to you. And yeah, I was just surprised by the amount of people that were out. The federal government, it's a little disparate. There's not a lot of coordination going on right now between the different state governments, between the local governments, between the federal government. The federal government is saying one thing, different states have different procedures. Like I mentioned in my last video, it's like the United States in certain respects. That different states are basically doing their different things. Same case here in Mexico, that the federal government says one thing, different states are doing different things as well. So here in Jalisco, we have a self-quarantine until April 19th. The federal government just 2 days ago, today's Wednesday, April 1st, issued a stay-at-home until the end of April. So I was just surprised going out to the store. I ran into my neighbor before I went to the grocery store. We were talking a little bit. I was wishing him, that he was staying safe and healthy. He said that his family, his elderly father is staying at home. He's getting out to do a little bit of yard work. He does some yard work around the neighborhood. But he's staying safe and healthy. But also commenting, like a lot of places, the United States, a lot of people are being stubborn about this and not staying home. And that was the case that I found at the grocery store and driving around a little bit. I went to check to see if a store was open, and it was. But I got home. I started to look at some of the news. So I have an article here. One of the good news that came today was that the government of Jalisco, starting tonight at 7 o'clock, non-essential stores are going to be ordered to be closed. So maybe in the days to come, maybe more people will be staying home. But for right now, a lot of people are still out. The government of Jalisco, several days ago, 3-4 days ago, also issued a statement saying that if 6 out of 10 of the people of Jaliscenses stay at home, then it should diminish the curve quite a bit. I didn't think that was a particularly good idea to say 6 out of 10 people stay at home, but again, I'm not a scientist. I'm not in the government, but it seems like there are still a lot of people out on the streets. It seems like what Mexico is doing, just to give you an update on a little bit of what Mexico is doing to confront the coronavirus, is that there aren't enough tests in Mexico to be able to do big random tests like have been done in other places. The United States, South Korea. Here in Mexico, what seems to be the case is that they're relying on different models. They have some tests, they're using those tests to the best of their abilities. And the University of Guadalajara is running different models to predict where the outbreak is taking place, when the outbreak is going to happen. So that's what at least the government of Jalisco is doing, is relying a lot more on models. Another article I saw, let's see here. Deben parar empresas no esenciales a partir de las 19 horas de hoy. So the non-essential businesses are going to be closed from 7 o'clock today, April 1st. Hopefully that'll keep some people inside. Another thing that I wanted to comment on about that was that, like I mentioned in my last video, half the population, just a little bit more than half the population in Mexico is poor. They don't live paycheck to paycheck. Paycheck to paycheck almost seems like a luxury to most people in Mexico. If people don't get out and work in Mexico, they don't eat. So what that really means for the vast majority of population is that if they don't get out to work, they don't eat. They have to get out. And that has huge ramifications across the board. for themselves, for others, for the community. Guadalajara aprueba apoyos económicos afectados por coronavirus. So that kind of goes just to what I was talking about. Guadalajara has just approved economical support for those affected by the coronavirus. And in the article, it's saying that 300 million pesos are going to be dedicated to the most small businesses. And that 300 million pesos is going to be channeled into different programs that help out the different small businesses. And 300 million pesos, which I just looked up to give you an idea, is $12 million, about $12 million, $12,324,000 to help those small businesses out. And those are people that sell fruit on the street, have the tianguis, the little flea market stalls, help those types of businesses out, because those are the people that are going to be most affected by the coronavirus, and they probably feel that if they don't get out to work, they're not going to be able to eat. So, but how long is that aid going to take to implement? How long? How are people going to be able to stay home in the meantime while that aid is being processed? Also, I wanted to mention, just to give you guys an update. Again, I wanted to make an update. I was probably like everybody, I'm a bit frustrated with the situation. I was surprised by the situation. So even though I said I wasn't going to make another video, I wanted to make another video. I was talking with my neighbor yesterday. Hey, Robert. He encouraged me to make videos, keep making videos about updating about the coronavirus in Mexico. So thank you, Robert, for that suggestion. I've taken that suggestion, at least for this video, and possibly more videos as well. So yeah, I was just surprised, frustrated, wanted to make another video. Thank you, Robert. Another news article that I wanted to mention was that they'll be closing the beaches in Jalisco, so that means Puerto Vallarta. All the beaches in Puerto Vallarta will be closed. All the beaches in Jalisco will be closed. Puerto Vallarta is part of Jalisco, so all the beaches there are going to be closed. And that's significant because Easter is coming right up, the Holy Week, and that's one of the major holidays here in Mexico. A lot of people go to Puerto Vallarta. It's one of the main destinations during Holy Week. So another measure that the government is taking is that they're closing the beaches, encouraging everybody to stay at home during this time and not go out and not consider it like life is normal. So what I think we're going to do is I'm going to go out, give you an idea of what the streets are like around Guadalajara. I might have some more to say about some things that just come to mind. I always seem to make these videos, and then while I'm editing them down, it seems like, oh, I should have said that or this. So some things might occur to me while I'm making the videos. So we'll go out. I'll give you an idea of what the streets are like in Guadalajara. I'll be doing it from the sana distancia, the healthy social distancing, from inside my car. But before we go, one thing that I wanted to mention was that in the past video, I mentioned that I'll be pausing the Patreon contributions for the month of April. I've decided to let those contributions go on, and what I'm going to be doing with those contributions that I currently have, and that if anybody chooses to become a patron or to make contributions, what I'm going to do with those contributions is donate them to an organization or to individuals. I still haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with those contributions, but I'm going to be donating those contributions to help people that are going to be most affected by this coronavirus pandemic. I haven't decided exactly where those contributions are going to be going right now. I wanted to do something. I don't want to judge the situation here in Mexico. I'm a guest in their country, but from everything I understand, it's a country that has half of its population is poor, living day to day, living every 1 or 2 days to 1 or 2 days. If they can't get out, they can't work, they can't eat, and people need to stay at home. So it's a very difficult situation right now, especially for the people in Mexico. So what I'm going to be doing is taking those contributions and donating 100% of those contributions to people in need. If you have any suggestions on where those contributions should go, I'm more than happy to hear that. So okay, let's go ahead and go out. I'll show you guys a little bit of what is going on the streets of Guadalajara today, April 1st, in the afternoon. Vamos. All right, so out on the streets now in the Jeep. And I wanted to say that the point of this video is, of course, not to shame or judge anybody for what they're doing, for being out on the streets, but it's just to give you an idea of what the situation is like here in Mexico on April 1st. So I'll turn the camera around. Have lots of people at the bus stop. The fruit vendors, those are going to be the guys that are hardest hit by this pandemic. Those types of businesses. The microempresas, the very small, tiny businesses. I will say that there are less cars out, there are less people out than usual, but it seems like there's a lot of people out at the same time. So let's keep going, do a drive around, see what else we see on the streets of Guadalajara. Alright, so to get off the coronavirus topic for just a second and point out a little beauty in the city. The purple trees there, those are the jacarandas trees. They're really pretty trees. And during this time of year is when they bloom. And then right in front of us is like this Aztec pyramid. I always thought it was really cool. In this glorieta, I would drive by, it's right close to a store I go to. I always thought it was really cool. They have some pretty cool glorietas and some nice art in the different glorietas, the different roundabouts throughout the city. You have some more jacarandas trees. So not everything is doom and gloom. There still is beauty out there to be seen and had and enjoyed. Okay, back to doom and gloom. Alright, so yeah, I forgot to mention in the first part of the video that I talked a little bit about the different testings and why there might be the disparity there. I think basically the reason that there's the big disparity in the numbers right now is that Mexico just doesn't have the resources to be able to buy a lot of tests. So right now, I could be wrong. I really don't know the intricacies of it. I'm not a scientist. I'm not in the government. And if anybody has any more information about that, I'd be very happy to hear. But from everything I've been hearing, all the news reports I've been hearing, it seems like there's some doubt in that it's not just about the tests, but everything I've been reading seems to be pointing towards the test, mentioning the tests of the coronavirus a lot. So the cases as of today, as of April 1st, Mexico has 1,215 cases, with 29 people have died of the coronavirus and 41 have recovered. Meanwhile, in the United States, the number of cases is 211,143 cases as of April 1st. 4,713 people have died. 8,805 have recovered. And again, everybody's following the news. It seems like to me that we're still just in the beginning of it, that maybe in a few weeks that might be when things begin to peak and when things begin to look really ugly. Mexico has a national health system where everybody in Mexico, if you're a citizen of Mexico, you are guaranteed health care as a human right, something that we do not have in the United States, something that Mexico leads the United States on. But the problem in Mexico is that it's, again, I'm not a healthcare professional, but it's a weak system. It's a system that will be very easily stressed. So the people that have the very small businesses that are selling things in the streets, that are selling the mazapanes in the streets. Again, we have a bus stop with lots of people perhaps not practicing social distancing. But the people that are selling the mazapanes, that are selling the fruit, that have the tianguis, that if they don't go out to work, they don't eat, those are going to be the people that are most affected, that would rely on the national health system, and that the national health system, perhaps we'll see in the days to come, could be very poorly affected. So again, I'm going to be doing what I can. I'm going to be putting 100% of the contributions on patreon.com towards some sort of relief for the people who are going to be most affected. We have workers still out doing work. There's people doing construction by my place. There are less cars on the street. I'm kind of tempted to go down this street, but I won't, because that's where I live, down that street. But if you didn't know it, this would be a typical weekend. It's not a weekend, it's a Wednesday, but this is typical traffic for a weekend. It's a bit lighter, but there's still people out. People are wearing masks. There's hand sanitizer about. So I think that people are doing what they can. But it's still a very difficult situation for everybody all across the world right now. Okay guys, so thanks for watching the video. That's our video for today. Let me know if you found this video interesting, informative. I can make more videos about the situation, the coronavirus situation in Mexico in the days going forward. If you found this video helpful and informative, this is my first time driving and making a video, so a little bit getting used to. Takes a little bit getting used to. But if you found this video helpful and informative, if you like the video, share it to social media so that other people can see what the situation is like in Mexico right now with coronavirus. And subscribe if you'd like to. Hit like, comment. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys very soon. Take care. Adios.